Should yuck ever be the final word? When I'm feeling really naive, I like to think, gee, if only we were smart and logical, everything would be better. And yeah, everything would be better if we were smart and logical. The naive thing is thinking that we could ever be just logical. Because there's so much more brewing in here, and it can really change how you think. Lab-grown meat is actually a thing. It's coming to market pretty soon if it's not out already. But I've asked my students about this after we read this article, and the vast majority of them say they would not eat lab-grown meat, but they really can't articulate why. There's just something about it that just kind of makes them go yuck. One of the things the article talks about is that we can overcome this yuck factor using openness and logic. Do you buy that? Do you think we're really logical enough to where we'll think out problems and not let our emotions go past us? I'm uncertain. We are, after all, the generation who keeps giving the Kardashians TV programs. I kind of suspect that we're going to freak out. And I think part of this happens when we're driven more by our emotions than our logic, because I think that often our emotions are stronger than our logic and cause us to just react badly no matter what the situation is. So what kind of emotions, what kind of things make us react badly? I've got a few examples. I think lots of us are turned off by just sheer incompetence. Something about incompetence just rubs us the wrong way. You had one job and you couldn't even do that. Often people are really turned off when there is a lack of care put into things. This is an example that I could have pulled out dozens of different pictures, but this is a great one. How much would it have taken to have these labels lined up? And why in the heck would they not do that? If someone else doesn't care, it's going to promote visceral reactions in a lot of people. Ignorance. I ran a literary journal for a few years, and man, I have never seen commas misused so bad. But this is pretty bad as well. I think lots of us are often turned off by people who are just trying to watch the world burn. Can you imagine how much this would anger someone, how much this would freak someone out? When we see someone who violates the established order, that can promote strong visceral emotional reactions in us as well. And when we run across just complete lapses in logic. The thing is, spam lip balm is not even the worst lip balm that I've run across. There are many, many worse products out there. These are just some that I immediately jumped out to me. So, what's the point in all this? Quite often, we're trapped in battles between how we think we should act and how we actually do act. And a large part of that can be because we're not behaving in ways that make sense, or we expect different things from logic than it can really deliver. I think that finding these times when things don't make sense, when stuff doesn't line up, developing that ability in yourself is a great, great thing, particularly if you're in college, particularly if you want to be someone who thinks about things, because finding these places where the world doesn't work is probably the best in that I can find to analysis. I love looking for things that just don't make sense, and I particularly love when I find something that I think doesn't make sense that nobody else seems to question, because that means I'm going to be able to bring something new and unique to the party, and that's going to make writing so much easier. These are the kind of things you should think about if you want to be someone who thinks. Emotion's not bad. Even though it can cause us to not think logically sometimes, emotion is great. We should all have it. But we should be aware of the limitations. Plus, we should be able to recognize when logic isn't working in someone and why it's not, because those are the kind of things that can start to push us towards being able to change behaviors, our own, other people's, hopefully. But without really understanding why we don't do the best, you can't improve. I think improving's important. See you next video.